check out our new merch store at www.ShotOfFactsPodcast.com, where you can find our merch with shirts dedicated to each episode you love. Check it out today and support a Shot of Facts merch. Now, we did talk about
hard to do. You can partner up with somebody. You can come with 15. They can come with 15. And you have your down payment, and then kind of go from there. It's all going to be contingent on the condition of the property and the purchase price of the property, because your rehab budget and your purchase price is going to dictate how much you need to put down and how much your monthly mortgage is going to be.
Right. And I do want to ask, because we did talk about this a little bit off the show, but about the rehab properties that are selling for very low prices. Very enticing for young entrepreneurs to just, purchase these.
Ooh, $1.
Right. And then we don't know the stipulations all behind it. So will it still be best to go through an agent or, a broker about buying those type of rehab properties, especially?
The properties that we were talking about offline were like the dollar properties and things of that nature are typically going to be tax sales. So those are going to usually be properties that are being sold by the county in which those properties are located. So going to auctions and things like that, you don't necessarily need a realtor to go to auctions. That's more of a public platform. That's where you get really heavily discounted properties, but you have to buy those properties cash. So you're not going to be able to use hard money or private money, or you can probably use private money. Private money can be anybody. It can be a friend of yours. It can be, family, business partner, whomever. So it have to be cash, out of a bank account in order to purchase those things. The only thing with auctions is that you need to make sure that you do your due diligence, because what can happen is you might buy the property for very, very cheap, but you might also be buying those encumbrances that are attached to the property, those liens that may be attached to the property. So if you buy a property, say for $1, like you hear about in the news or press releases and things of that nature, oh, Detroit is selling homes for $1. Well, the purchase price may be $1, but the liens attached to that property could be $50,000. It could be $100,000, and you're going to be responsible for paying off those liens. So basically, the original owner has given up on the property, and you're taking on all of the liens going on with the property, any issues that are going on with the property, if the roof is caved in, all those things. And a lot of times you're buying these properties sight unseen, because you don't really have the time to go and check out the property or whatever. You just getting focused on the cost of it. So I wouldn't say jump into doing any of those things until you have more experience. You have contractors that can actually help you, because that's another area that a lot of people, they only focus on like getting the cash together, but you need to really also think about building your team that's going to help you get through that project successfully. Because the real estate professional is not going to be your contractor. Your contractor is going to really make or break your deal. So you need to interview some contractors as well when you're talking about getting into real estate investing, because that's a huge piece of the puzzle.
Yeah. A lot of people, even because I'm from Detroit too. So I know a couple people who purchased those tax lien houses or auction houses, and they will say like it took probably a year for them to fix it up or more.
Yes.
And
Yes.
it's still not to, the standard that's supposed to be. So yeah, it's a lot of backstory behind buying those cheap houses.
Yes.
Sure.
Keyword is due diligence.
Yes, yes. But let's go into your book now, From Broke
Okay.
to Broker. So can you explain to the readers, yes, explain to the listeners, potential readers, what is the book about and what could we gain from reading it?
Absolutely. So From Broke to Broker is basically an autobiography about my life. As you can see, I'm young and fly.
Yeah.
But and one of the questions that I used to get or still get all the time is, we're all asked, what do you do, right? What is your career? People ask that question all the time. And when I answer, and my response is that I own my own real estate brokerage, their faces always light up, or like, oh, wow, really? Like, oh, that's pretty cool. Like, how old are you? Or those are usually the follow-up questions, or how did you get into that? Because real estate is a very sexy industry. Everybody talk about it. Everybody wants to be a part of it. It's just a really cool industry to be a part of. So to be young and to actually own a firm is not really that heard of. I mean, I haven't necessarily met another broker that's looks like me in this way as far as age and just, experience and things of that nature. But I'm sure they exist. I just haven't necessarily met them yet. But I wanted to put something in writing to help people and show them my journey, to show them that like I literally had to go through a whole lot of different experiences in order to get to this place, but it can be done. And that to me is the ultimate goal. I want to show you like how to get through issues and continue to push forward. In this book, I really talked about some things that I never, like some of my closest friends didn't even know about me. Because I think when you go through trauma in life, a lot of times we try to suppress it and we don't want to talk about it. We don't want to tell people about our struggles or the things that we've gone through. We just want them to see the glory. I just want you to see me on Instagram popping. You know what I mean? That's all I want you to see. But I realized that that wasn't helping the world. And my goal and my mission in life is to help the world. And that's why I do these podcasts, because I can reach people all over. I can share my message all over. So in this book, that was my way of reaching the world and just showing people that you can do it. Like, don't let your circumstances prevent you from being great. But coming from, growing up poor, like I mentioned earlier, to becoming a single mother at a very young age, to relocating to a city, didn't know what to do at all. So there's just a lot of different phases that I feel like a lot of different people can relate to, not just women. Like, I didn't write this book for women specifically, although women tend to relate because I'm a woman, they're a woman, but it's also helped a lot of men as well, to show them like, listen, as a man, you're going to go through certain circumstances, and I understand the weight that you may have on your shoulders as being a man, but even through that, push through. And at the end of the book, I even share marketing tips. I even have goal lists in there, my favorite affirmations. So I really poured a lot of my heart into this book. So hopefully you'll go check it out at DeniseTheBroker.com. It's entitled From Broke to Broker, and I love it. So, New York Times bestseller. I've been saying that every day. I'm going to sell 1 million copies or more. So
Yes.
help me get to that goal.
Well, thank you so much for taking the time out, giving out all those tips, all this insightful information about just becoming a real estate investor. Like, you helped me, so I feel inspired. Feel inspired.
That's always the goal.
But my last question, very last question to you is, do you have any last words of recommendation, advice, or just last tips to give to the listeners?
Absolutely. I will leave you guys with a quote. It's one of my favorite quotes. And it is, you can't deposit excuses. You cannot. So you go to your bank account and do you hand them a check or do you hand them an excuse? You can only hand them a check. So you want to make sure that you're not allowing your excuses. Don't allow life, don't allow bad partnerships, don't allow bad relationships, don't allow life circumstances to prevent you from becoming the person that you want to become. Because when you do that, or you allow those self-doubts to hold you back, you're going to look back years and years and years from now and regret it. Don't do that. Don't be that person. Don't be afraid of failure, because a lot of people just don't want to look failure in the face. They just don't. Nobody likes to fail at anything. It doesn't feel good. But I can't tell you how many times I failed. But in order to do that, you learn so much, and you're going to be so much better on the other end of it. So don't give up, guys. Like, stop giving yourself excuses and push through this thing. Let's make this money.
Let's make this money. Look, one thing I always like to say, like, consistency is key.
It is key.
Like, you can go very far in life by being consistent.
Yes, yes.
Yes, but overall,
it is.
yes, right. As hard as it is, it's very hard. Look, if it was easy, everybody be doing it.
Everybody would be doing it. Yes.
Well, yes, my actual very, very last question to you is, where can we find you? Website, social media, or any type of way we can get in contact with Denise the Broker?
Absolutely. So my website is DeniseTheBroker.com. You can find me there. I have contact information, email, phone number, and on all social media platforms, Denise the Broker. So at Denise the Broker on Instagram, Denise the Broker on Facebook, and Denise the Broker on YouTube. I don't have a Twitter yet. I'm going to get a Twitter. I feel like I'll be super distracted if I get a Twitter, because my boyfriend sends me tweets and I will end up just scrolling for hours if I get a Twitter. So funny. But yeah, you can find me on those platforms. I would love to connect with you guys. So yeah, thank you. Thank you again for having me, Deja. I appreciate it.
Yes, and thank you overall. This was a shot of real estate. I feel inspired. I feel like I need to save up my coins right now. And
Yeah.
oh, just thank you so much for coming on the show.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thanks, and I will talk to you later.